everybody.
Hey, good evening, everyone. Welcome to our show this evening, our next episode in healthy living, healthy life, healthy living, healthy. Okay. But no, welcome. Thank you so much for joining us this evening. We're Will and Faith Scott. We get to the root health and wellness. What we come and talk about on our Wednesdays, we talk about how our habits becomes our lifestyle. Okay. And that's something that's so important. I mean, we wanted to come to you this evening and bring you a pretty good topic. I mean, last week we talked about junk food, and this week we're going to talk about cheat meals. I mean, that's something that's going to be really cool. So hopefully you will enjoy this episode that we're going to have tonight, and thank you again for joining us. Hey, hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, invite people, invite others, invite your family, your friends. Come on and join us on this journey towards healthy living. Okay. Yeah. So it's going to be great this evening. So Queen, you got anything for this evening?
I always just like to say, hey, if you're all about getting healthy, doing healthy things like exercising and eating more plants and just, living that healthy lifestyle, then you're in the right place.
Yes,
Will and I, we love to come and share fun in-home workouts, healthy, tasty, whole food, plant-based recipes, and healthy habits, healthy life talks.
Yes.
And tonight, I'm always excited to hear what Dr. Will has in store for us. Did you say what your topic was?
Yeah, it's going to be the truth about cheat meals.
The truth about cheat meals. So
yeah, the truth about cheat meals.
I again am just sitting back with you.
Yes.
I got my notepad out and be taking notes because we're all here to learn.
That's
right.
That's right.
And I always like to say the message is to the messenger first.
That's it.
So I'm not here to look down my nose at you.
Yeah.
But I'm here to learn with you.
Yes.
So if you're open for learning about things we can do, I always like to say news you can use, apply it to your life to help make your life lifestyle a little bit healthier, then you're definitely in the right place. Go ahead on and hit that like button, hit the subscribe button, leave comments below. This is a two-way dialogue.
Yes,
okay. That's why we love coming live, because we wanted to be two-way.
That's right.
And if it's your first time joining us, go ahead and leave a comment where you're joining us from.
That's right.
We always like to say hi to a few people that like to chime in and comment. Let us know that they're here. Mr. Tom, we appreciate you joining us. Thank you so much for joining us.
How you doing, Tom?
Hope you had a great week and ready to do some dialoguing. Okay.
Yes.
So
if you got any questions, that's what we're going to do. We want to dialogue, like Queen was saying, back and forth with each other. Try to get some of those questions answered for you. Hey, share some of your comments as well with other people. Because we're in this learning pool together.
That's right.
Yeah, just like Queen was saying, we're in here together. Yes. So thank you again. We're going to go on and get started on our PowerPoint here. And here we go. The truth about cheat meals. I mean, all of us have gone through the cheat meal factor before, I'm sure, or at least heard of it at least. I know I have a few times. I mean, when I was trying to do those fad diets and everything. We're going to talk a little bit about that, though. Let's go over to our agenda and see what we have on our agenda for this evening. So we're going to go and click over here on the side. I know I put this one picture over here, so it's kind of hard for Queen to find. We're going to talk about why cheat. The next one is we're going to talk about is why is it hard not to cheat meals and our health. And then last but not least, cheat meals and weight loss. Okay. So you may have other comments, you may have other questions and things like that as we go along. But always feel free to chime on in and let us know. We'll try to get those questions and everything answered. Okay. So, all right. So here we go. So why cheat? Okay. And we have two bullets there, tasteless foods and feeling the deprivation. But we know that many people set weight loss goals. I mean, people, they just try to lose weight for that special occasion, that special dress, pants or slacks or whatever it is. So typically when you're making a lifestyle change, most people are not looking for a reason. They look for a reason to not as a lifestyle change, but just for a special event. So it's not about them making an actual lifestyle change. They just want to lose weight or look better for a particular event, particular occasion, particular clothes or a particular look. So that's what people kind of gravitate to when they want to change their diet, I should say. So, people who look at weight loss, typically they look at doing what? Fad diets. I mean, that's one of the things that are in our society today. You know, who's the latest and greatest? Where can I go? How can I lose 50 pounds in 15 days? And those things entice us and get us all in there, you know. But I'm gonna tell you, though, typically when you go on these fad diets, the meals are probably tasteless. You know, the foods are tasteless. They're tasteless foods. You have to do very stringent, drastic things that are not sustainable. Okay. And that's what drives people. One of the reasons why it drives people towards these cheat meals, right? And we're going to share something with you this evening about that, because when we look at the cheat meals, right, people like to engage typically in cheat meals because they feel deprived. Okay. They don't feel like that they're eating and having, or they can have the type of foods that they really, really want to have. Okay. So they say, hey, I'll feel good if I can just get a cheat meal in there. I'll try to stay true. But yet this food is hard to eat. It's very stringent. So let me get a cheat meal in there. So, but many people don't understand what happens psychologically when we partake in these cheat meal methods. And we're going to talk about that this evening. We're going to share how we talk about and what happens to your body physiologically when you actually cheat. Okay, so let's go on, Queen, and we're going to go to our next slide here. All right, so why is it so hard to cheat? I'm glad you asked me that, but a lot of you probably already know. So you can probably tell me why is it so hard. One of the reasons is that these foods that we call cheat meals, or we call faddish or junk foods, they're everywhere. They're everywhere, anywhere and everywhere. They're available everywhere at any time. So you can just grab something and you can just eat it. So it makes it very easy to cheat if you're trying to stay stringent to a particular diet or a particular plan. Ordering devices. I mean, we can order now DoorDash. We can order on our cell phones. We can order on our iPads. We can make phone calls. Like I was saying earlier, we don't even have to go out to grab the meal or whatever the item is that you're ordering. They'll bring it right to you. Store strategies. That's another good one. I mean, the stores strategize. They put particular items in particular places. If you notice, you go to grocery stores, they have like a lot of the candy bars and something that's quick that you can pick up right there at the register. I mean, it's right there. All you have to do is reach over as you're scanning your food. You can reach and grab one of those items and scan it and put it in your bag and everything. So, you know, store strategies. And most stores, many of the stores, what they do is they constantly change their stores around. Okay. So you can go into a store today and pick up something from an aisle and go in there next week, and they've totally changed it. And it's based on supply and demand. And it's also based on what people want. And it's also based on what they're trying to sell. So the one thing that I noticed that they don't hardly ever change is the produce aisle. They keep the produce aisle typically right there in the front. Okay, right there in the front where you can get it firsthand, but people walk right past it because they're more interested in other things at that point. And then sensory perception. Okay, everything we use, all of our senses. Okay, sight, smell, hearing, crunching, all of these different things, touching. Ooh, that's soft. And so all of our senses makes it very hard to not cheat, if you will. Okay, it makes it very, very difficult not to cheat. So these are just 4 items. There are many other items, but it was 4 main items that I wanted to choose this evening to actually share with you about why it's hard not to cheat. Okay, so we're going to talk a little bit about cheat meals and our health. You know, and I know I'm going through these probably a little fast, but nonetheless, it's nothing that you really have to ponder over, because a lot of you are already aware and what happens with cheat meals. Okay, well, people like to partake in cheat meals, but it's a psychological shift that happens during this time frame in our brains. Okay, psychologically, the hedonic system, it activates, and our survival mechanism, it begins. And as soon as an individual consumes junk food, and remember what junk food is. Junk food are foods that are has no nutritional value. Okay, so junk foods are foods that have no nutritional value. So our brains tell us, once we eat some of that type of food, our brains tell us to eat as much as possible. Okay, because we don't know when we'll be able to eat this again. So this is the cheat meal. Now think about it. We have the cheat meal maybe once a day. once in a week, one day out of the week. It could be a meal or it could be an entire day. Okay. We've heard people do both. Okay. But let's say, for instance, just a cheat meal. Okay. So you're eating that meal, you get an opportunity, but you want to eat as much of it as possible. Your brain is telling you to eat as much of it as possible. It's hyper palatable. Okay. It's full of salt, sugar, a lot of fats. So a lot of those items and ingredients that gives you pleasure to your brain receptors, okay, your neuroreceptors in your brain. So it tells you to keep eating, keep eating, keep eating, keep eating. And as the hedonic system kick in, right, which is the pleasure principle, and then the survival mechanism kicks in, which is I'm going to start storing for those times when we don't have these items. You eat as much as you can, okay? The bad part about that is that it is lack of nutrients, but very high in calories. Okay, so we'll talk about what happens. So typically what happens during this time frame, you eat all of these foods, right? You eat all of this stuff, you feel good while you're eating it, and then you start to feel guilty. Okay, so now here's the guilt trip comes. So once you start getting guilty, now all this is psychological, so now you start feeling guilty. And at this point, it's possible that you could develop an eating disorder. Okay, so a lot of people purge after they've eaten a vast amount, because remember, they're probably on some type of fad diet to lose weight. Most of the time, it's not for a lifestyle change. Most of the time, it's just to lose weight. So now you've eaten all of this food, you've eaten way more than you should. You start feeling guilty psychologically in your head. I got to do something about it. Well, let me just purge up. So that's when you start getting these disordered eating behaviors. Okay, you start eating alone, you start binging, you start doing these things, and these things happen because you feel like you're not getting the pleasures that you normally get. Okay, because you're on this stringent diet. After consuming that large, massive amount of foods, that's when that guilt typically kicks in. Okay, so cheat meals actually sabotages our healthy instincts. Okay. Believe it or not, our bodies they actually crave healthy, nutritious foods. Okay. And they do all the time. I know a lot of people may not believe that. What we feed ourselves most determines our cravings, though. Okay. So whatever you eat the most, that's what you're going to crave. Okay. Mm-hmm. So, but our bodies move in that way. So cravings is a process. It's actually a process, right? And this process is used for us to seek out items and foods that we need for survival. Okay. And that's what the cravings are for. Now, the downside to that is that in our society today, and because people eat more calorie rich, junk type foods, and our bodies are full of a lot of sugars and salts and fats. But what happens is we're sabotaged, because when you go to eat certain items, these items are full of those ingredients. And that's what sabotages our health instinct. So the health instinct or the cravings are designed for us to eat healthy food. However, we start eating foods that are unhealthy, and we eat it in abundance. And that's what really hurts us. Okay. So we know that the cheat meals can turn into a binge. Okay. And what happens is that, you only have that one cheat meal. So you try to cram as much as you can in your system at that one time, because you're not going to have it any other opportunity to eat those types of foods again that week. Okay. Particularly if it's a cheat meal. Okay. If it's a cheat day, then you can eat upwards of 10,000 plus calories very, very easy in a very short period of time and not be totally satisfied. Okay. Your body is going to make changes at that point. And we're going to talk about what happens with your body as well. So you want to be definitely careful with the cheat meals. Okay. So cheat meals and weight loss, just based on what I've been talking about so far, we do understand that cheat meal actually creates a mindset to overeat. Okay. And that's typical, okay, of any cheat meal. I mean, think about it. Why do you think you need to cheat? Number one, you feel like you're deprived. Number two, you have these tasteless foods. And then number three, you want to keep eating as much as you can because your body is telling you you need to eat until we are nutritionally full. However, in junk foods, there is no nutritional value. Remember, There's no nutritional value in junk food. So you continue to eat. Searching, your body is smart. So it's searching for nutritional value, yet not finding it. So you do get full. Okay. You get full after a while. You've eaten so much, you're getting full. The problem is about within 30 minutes to an hour later, you're ready for something else. And you're like, man, something is missing. And it's your body telling you, the cravings, the healthy cravings, telling you, hey, we need more vitamins, we need more minerals, we need more of this, we need more of that. However, we ignore that, and a lot of people do for lack of knowledge. They don't understand. A lot of other people, they don't know what healthy eating really is. So we start eating, or we continue to eat the same things that we ate before, thinking that we would get full, and we never get full. So one thing that happens too when you do the cheat meals is that your thermostat never gets an opportunity to reset. So when you say thermostat, what are you talking about? Dr. Will, what are you talking about with your thermostat? Well, what I'm talking about with thermostat is your tolerance level, okay? So your tolerance level is very high when you eat hyperpalatable foods, okay? Very high for salts, very high for sugars, very high for fats, okay? Those are three ingredients that your body seeks on a consistent basis, okay? And if you have a very high tolerance of those items, those are the items you're going to seek. That's why when you eat maybe a baked potato, you got to put butter on it because of the salt. If you eat other food items, you have to have certain additives, added salts, added sugars, added whatever it is, added oils, or whatever you need in order to make that food palatable for you, because your tolerance or your thermostat is set so high. Okay. So in order to reduce or to reset that thermostat to unhealthy foods, you have to minimize and hopefully maybe eliminate the consumption of those different types of foods. Okay. So that's the only way you're going to be able to do it. All right. Being in the standard American diet, eating standard American diet foods, you're going to always have a high tolerance and a high craving for those items. Okay. And it works on your neural sensory in your brain. It works there. It works on your taste buds. I can remember years ago when I used to smoke cigarettes, and I would always, eating food, and I would always add salt to my food without even tasting my food. And because it seemed like the food that I was eating, it wasn't satisfying to me without the salt. So I never really even tasted the food itself for what it was. I was always wanting just that salt or that sugar or the sweetness. Those are the different tastes that I want, not actually saying that I wanted to taste chicken or whatever I was eating at that point. So I didn't know that I was addicted at that particular time to those items, not knowing, of course, by smoking, burning my taste buds up and all these other things. But I felt that the food wasn't satisfying enough, and I didn't have enough salt, enough sugar, or enough sweetness on it. So that was one of the things. My thermostat was set extremely high. Now, Queen and I, and she can speak for herself, but Queen and I can eat something, and we know if it had an additional amount of salt or sugar in it, it's like, oh my goodness. I mean, we stand back instantly because our taste buds are just bouncing around, trying to adjust because we don't use added salt in our foods. I mean, we just don't, and we don't add added sugars in our food as well. So any type of added sugar or salt or whatever, we instantly know it and try to make adjustments at that point. So another thing is that our bodies are extremely smart, and I know we all know that, but we really don't know that. I think a lot of people believe that they can eat something and say, well, I'm only going to eat half of it, so it ain't gonna really hurt me that bad. And your body recognizes the half that you eat, and thinking that just because you ate a small portion of it, that it's not going to affect you. Every time that you put something in your mouth affects your body. Every time. Okay. It doesn't matter. Every single time. So I say here, we save fat for the famine. The famine never happens. So what happens is that when you have your cheat meal, let's say you're on your fad diet for the entire week, and you get this one cheat meal, and you're like, oh yes, this is it. This is it. Well, you've deprived your body of certain nutrients already. You probably already have severely deprived your body. It's probably in a starvation mode. You probably did portion control. You probably cut down all the calories and everything. You're like, hey, I'm going for the gusto. We down to 500 calories in this meal for this week, and I'm good to go. So I can afford to eat 2,000 calories. It's not going to bother me a bit. And your body's like, that's right. You do that. And as soon as you start eating it, your body is smart enough to say, hey, wait a minute. Because remember, we were built and we have an innate ability within us to store up for the winter or store up for the famine, as they say. However, the famine never comes. But your body doesn't know that, because all this week you have been eating this stringent way. You have not been eating nutritionally. You have not been feeding your body the proper amount of food that it needs. So because you've been eating 10,000 calories last week, so this week you're eating 500. So your body's like, wait a minute, we're in starvation mode here. We have to survive, okay? So your body grabs every bit of that cheat meal and starts storing it for the winter, okay? And I know you say, hey, I'm not going to eat. I'm just going to eat a little bit of this, a little bit of that. Your body is extremely smart. So it's going to grab it all and it's going to store it as fat, okay? It's not going to burn it. It's not going to get rid of it. It's going to keep it for those times when you go stringent again. It's going to have a little reserves in there to live on while you're stringent until your next cheat meal. And then guess what it's going to do? Grab some more. But remember this, your body will never expend all of the fat storage that it got from the previous meal. So it just compounds itself. And before you know it, you think you've lost 5 pounds and you've gained 20. Okay. And that's happened. That's what your body does. It's very efficient at storing and saving fat for the famine. Okay. So let's move on here, Queen. Don't want to prolong anyone this evening. However, I think I'm moving pretty good. I think I'm doing pretty good. Did I do pretty good? Did we talk about our health? Did we talk about our health, Queen?
Let's see.
Okay, go into the health, Queen. There you go.
Right here?
Yes, go right there.
Okay.
I think we skipped one. I think we skipped the slide here. No, we did that. We did it, honey. I think we did it. Okay. I think we did it. So I didn't get into the aspects, the healthy aspects of I didn't get into the aspects of how the cheat meal actually take away or deprives your health. I just wanted to talk about a few other topics as far as what we were saying earlier, as the mindset to overeat, resetting your thermostat, and then actually what happens to you, as far as sabotaging your healthy instincts. So
I think do you want to show another slide?
Yeah, I think we're okay, Queen.
Okay.
I think we're good. So if you have questions about cheat meals,
basically what you're saying is, and if I could come from another angle on the cheat meals,
sure.
I really think one of the reasons why we feel a lot of times we need a cheat meal is because we are addicted.
That's true.
We are addicted to certain things, right? And definitely, a whole lot of sugar or salt or oil. We're just addicted. I think another reason why sometimes we feel we need those cheat meals is it's just habit. It's habit for us to eat that particular food.
And I'm gonna add something else while Queen is talking about that too. But one of the main reasons I feel that the cheat meals are requested or wanted is actually because people don't want to make a change. Okay, they don't want to make a change. What they want to do is they want to get a quick fix. Yet they want to have their cake and eat it too, and it's not plant-based cake. Okay, they want to still straddle that fence a little bit. All right, because think about the word never. I will never do this again. Think about that in reference of something that you like to do. You're like, wow, I ain't gonna never do this again. And like I know I refer back to when I was smoking. I could never get into my head never smoking again. And at that point, I was like, wow, I can't, because it was something that I liked to do. Okay. Never is never. It means you're not going to experience it no more in your lifetime. So, and a lot of people are not willing, if they didn't make the choice to make a lifestyle change, then you're very susceptible to going back to the things that you used to do prior to making a dietary change, if that makes sense to you.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
So that's one of the reasons why I think, so some of you, tell us some of the reasons why you think people cheat,
And I could say early on, in my journey of trying to become healthy, I felt I needed the cheat meals.
Mm-hmm.
But then as I began to grow and read and study more and understand why I was trying to live a healthier lifestyle and not do those things that I felt I needed to do, then I realized that my health was more important.
Oh, yeah.
And so I had to switch in the way that my mind was thinking about, well, what is it that I feel I need a cheat meal for?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. And if I'm cheating on that, then obviously I don't need to be doing it.
Right.
Because there's nothing positive about a cheat. Right. And then when I looked at what I consider a cheat meal and how it could affect my health.
Yeah.
Right. Affect maybe sending me down that rabbit hole of, that addictive pattern again, or what it is I'm trying to break. I'm like, why do I need to do that? So for me, I started looking for ways of the lifestyle that I was choosing to live a healthier lifestyle of foods that I enjoyed
that's
just as much.
That's the key.
That was also healthy.
That's the key.
Right.
That's the key.
And change my mindset on what I felt a cheat meal or an indulgent meal was.
Right.
So now for me, and again, this is a journey and all of our journeys are different.
Yes.
But I started saying, okay, instead of me, getting some chips, how about I make some, fries, some potato fries, and dip them in some ketchup. I mean, so it was just a switch because I realized that the chips that I thought was a cheat or an indulgent meal was really causing me more harm than it was good.
But the main thing that Queen, what she's saying is that she had to make a decision.
Right.
Okay. It all comes down to what's your decision. Okay. When we go back to the beginning of the presentation this evening, that's what we were saying. One of the reasons why people actually make dietary changes is not typically because they want to make a lifestyle change, but it's because they're doing it for a particular event or they're trying to get into a particular dress size or a pair of slacks or whatever. So what does that mean? That means that once they get into that, then they immediately after that, they're going to go back to doing what they did before. Okay. But in order to sustain themselves in that process, which is very stringent probably for them, they feel like in order to survive, they have to have a cheat meal. And that's where, so it all boils down. We're all going back to what's the main focus here. When Queen and I first made our transitions to whole food, plant-based eating, we wanted to lose weight. That was our main goal. We was like, oh man, we're gonna lose this weight. We're gonna do it. And that's a great way to start. However, like she was saying, that the more she studied, the more she learned, the more she began to read, she found out it was a whole lot more than just losing 5 or 10 or 15, 20 pounds or whatever. She had lost 100 pounds, but it was a whole lot more than that. It was all about health, your wealth, your living, how you feel from the inside out. So much now our focus is nowhere near losing weight. It's more about gaining health. Okay. So that's the whole thing. So if you're in a lifestyle change, then probably you won't be participating in cheat meals. Okay. But you will make transition meals like Queen was talking about, going from the chips to the fries without oil, but maybe dipping a little ketchup. That may be what you need to make a transition. So go ahead.
Well, that's good. I just wanted to share some of the comments we had in the chat box.
Yes.
Tiffany,
hey Tiff, how you doing?
The more we stay on the fence, indulging in cheat meals never allows our body a chance to neuroadapt. And that is so true. That's what I was I was saying about, just doing that cheat meal. It keeps you running down that. Yeah. Like it keeps you, you're just shortchanging yourself.
It keeps you bound.
It keeps you bound to that whatever it is you're trying to stay away from. It's a stronghold.
It is.
It's a stronghold. And I think some of our issues is that we don't see food addiction. We don't see food as an addiction.
As an addiction.
Because it's something we all eat.
Yeah.
You know, it's something especially a lot of the processed foods and you know, the Frankenstein foods.
It's legal.
It's legal. It's accepted.
Everybody do. I gotta eat. I gotta eat. That's the first thing you say when you're trying to, you know, self-satisfy yourself. I gotta eat something.
Yeah, right.
I gotta eat something.
Right,
yeah.
right.
But you don't have to eat that.
That's true. That's true. So that adapt and you know, like Tiffany was saying, allowing our taste buds to adapt in our body and our brains to adjust to the natural goodness of wholesome food. And it can happen.
Yes, it can.
But we have to stay away
long enough
long enough to allow our bodies to recognize, okay, now this is the new level of salt that I can enjoy. Now this is the new level of sweetness that I can enjoy. And it's all natural.
Yes.
And it's all benefit in our health overall. So we have to be willing to give ourselves a chance to adapt.
To adapt.
To the natural goodness of wholesome whole foods,
That's
right? Instead of the highly processed, the highly the hyper palatable foods that are out there that keep us bound to the addictions, to the, you know, sicknesses, to the overweight problems. So yeah, but it is a journey, and I believe it starts more so with the mindset than it does with the what I need to do.
Exactly.
So I think that's what has helped me in the early stages in my journey in when I decided to go whole food plant-based, was that I sort of educated myself first. I started reading a book, getting some knowledge and understanding, and that transformed my mind. And I was willing to take a step.
Yes.
And so a lot of times, I think when we don't get the knowledge, maybe we're making a transition because we're being forced to, because the doctor said we got to do it. This, that, and that. A lot of times that don't work, you know. But when sometimes it's something about this mind. When we change our mindset, then I believe we're more apt to stick to a lifestyle change. Yeah.
So that was a nice, good comment that Tiffany wrote.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
You know, and we
Tiffany,
you know,
okay.
So I don't think most people understand the danger of cheat meals. It keeps the addiction going. That is so true.
Definitely.
So true. You know, and I mean, a lot of people say that about drugs. They said that about smoking. Oh, I'm just going to smoke this one. And before you know it, you're smoking more than one. And the same thing with the drugs. Oh, I'm just going to do this one. Same thing with drinking. Anything that has an addictive effect to you. Yeah, I mean, I can handle it. I'm gonna just do this one. Before you know it, you're like, how did I get myself into this? You know, and that's how it happens.
Yep.
Slow and subtle.
Yep. Just Eat Plants. Yes. Hello, Just Eat Plants. Thank you for joining us.
Thank you so much for joining us.
I started my journey focusing on health.
Awesome.
I didn't step on the scale the first 2 years of my journey.
That's
wonderful. You go. That is awesome. Well, kudos to
that
you.
Is wonderful.
Yes.
Hey, I just want to let you know that you're in a very small minority of people.
Right.
Okay, because I'm telling you right now, a lot of people, when they start on this journey, they typically start
with scale monkeys.
With scale monkeys.
I was one.
I was one too. Yeah.
But I was so focused on weight and not health.
Not health.
Right.
Yes.
But then I
totally
learned
different mindset.
as I began to study and read and and just research, I found out that if you aim at health, the way to take care of itself.
Yes.
So
the problem, I shouldn't say the problem, but in most instances, people are looking to drop. They want to see that 5, 10, 15, 20 pounds drop in a week.
Because it's tangible.
Yes.
The scale is tangible. It's tangible.
Hey, yes, I'm making progress.
Right. But quickly on in my journey, I mean, like I said, when we chose to go plant-based, it was, I started, seeing pounds drop off, but the energy that I had, I started feeling better and feeling more energized, and I could think more clearly. It was so much more than just a number on the scale,
right?
And then for Will, his blood pressure to go down, and not have to take any medicine. It was like, oh man, this is amazing. I really have more control over my health than what we think. We all have more control over our health than what we think.
Yes, we do.
So,
yes, we do. And one thing too is that a lot of times when people take they partake and they practice having these cheat meals, they really don't understand that they're pushing away. Because let me tell you something, you could be eating plant-based, let's say today, all week long you've been eating plant-based, and you can have one cheat meal and you will feel horrible. Okay, because as soon as you start transitioning into eating healthy foods, your body starts readjusting itself and resetting itself and rejuvenating itself. I tell you an instant. I remember when I was deployed, and we would always go to a restaurant or something when our battle buddies would leave. Okay, and of course, you know, it was in the early days and early stages of being whole food plant based, and I went to this restaurant with my buddies, and we was looking at the menu, and they had a black bean burger there. Okay, so first of all, the black bean burger was a black bean burger, but it had a lot of salt in it, and I didn't know, but I tasted, oh gosh, it was a lot of salt in it. I didn't get it on the bun. I got a lettuce wrap on it. Okay, and then I saw on the menu where they had sweet potato fries. I was like, oh wow, they got some sweet potato fries. Let me get those. You know, so not thinking, you know, just very new in my journey, and I said, oh wow, I'm gonna get some sweet potato fries. So I ate the burger. It was salty, but I ate the burger. And then I was eating fries, right? And I wasn't thinking about it, eating the fries. And on our way back to the compound, my hands began to swell. They turned red. It was itching. I was like, it was on fire. And my body was having a reaction to the oil and the salt. Yes. I mean, it was just that fast. I hadn't even digested the food. Just eating the food on our way back, and my body just instantly had a reaction. So when people do cheat meals like that, once they've eaten something good, healthy, and wholesome for them, their bodies start rejecting cheat meal stuff instantly. But what we do, ignore it. That's a little cramp. Well, that's a little, and we make excuses for it. Okay, but our bodies are telling us, hey, stop it, get away from it. We don't want this. But yet the addictive side, like Queen was saying, overpowers that. Hedonic system overpowers that. And we also get into that pleasure side of it, and it's all over.
Right.
So.
Right. Something else I want to say that helped me as I began to make my journey to a healthier lifestyle was once I realized every bite that I took, whether it was good or bad, I was doing one or two things. I was healing my body or making my body sick.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So those foods that I felt that was indulgent or where I needed a cheat meal, I said, well, you know what? I still enjoy I like those foods, but how can I make that food a healthier version?
Right.
Where it can still be indulgent.
Right.
But yet fueling my body and feeding my body with nutrient rich food, right? So that's what I did in my journey. Instead of feeling like, oh Lord, I'll never have it again. I said, wait a minute, I can't have it again.
Yes.
I just have to make a healthier version of it.
Awesome,
right?
Man. Yes.
So I still can't have I call it now indulgent.
Right.
It's not a cheat meal, but it's indulgent, but it's also nutrient rich.
Nutrient rich. Yes.
And so again, like I said, it's all about just switching the thinking and our mindset
and learning
and
learning.
Yes, be willing to learn. So Tiffany, yes, be ye transformed by the renewing of our minds. We are. It's all about our stinking thinking.
That's
right.
Yeah.
And so if we can just transform, and we're transformed by reading, learning, you know, you got YouTube,
socializing,
you can find all that kind of stuff. Socializing.
Yes, we can socialize.
That could be a plus and a minus, but you want to make sure your circle of friends are supportive, or finding people that have like minds and on the same journey as you, so you can get that support.
Yes.
And that's why we love coming live on Wednesdays for our healthy habits, healthy life, because it's just a platform where we can all support each other on this journey called healthy living.
And talk about what you went through for the week.
Yes.
I mean, you can bring up a question or something that happened during the week, or something you're trying to do, or something that you need to overcome. That's what this sessions are for. Okay. It's for us to gain strength and build. Iron sharpens iron.
Right.
Okay. And that's what we're here to do. We're trying to sharpen each other so that we can live a nice, healthy, long life.
Exactly.
Okay.
And that's what it's about.
That's what it's all about.
The If you focus on health, you can still have indulgent meals.
Yes, you can.
All right, indulgent treats.
Oh, man.
All of that.
We have some good
right.
treats.
We definitely do. We don't have
Yes.
to cheat.
No,
right.
Have to cheat.
We just find healthier ways
Yes.
where we can enjoy our foods
Yes.
and it still nourish our bodies.
That's right.
Okay, because
That's
it's
right.
all about just loving yourself all the time.
That's it.
Okay, we have to love ourselves and
That's
our
right.
bodies all the time. We only get one.
That's it.
Right. So we gotta take care of it.
Yes.
We gotta take care of it. So do you have any more comments? Do you know the topic for next week?
No.
Okay, all right. Well, next Wednesday we will be here, and I'm sure Dr. Will have another fun
it's gonna be
topic
good
for us to dialogue about. But just always remember, you know, our health, your health is your wealth.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
You don't need cheat meal.
Yes.
Just find a healthier version of that food that you like to indulge in.
That's right.
Right. And indulge in it.
That's
but
it.
just know that every bite you're doing one or two things. You're either healing your body or you making your body sick. So just think about that. Just think about healing or hurting.
Healing or hurting.
There you go. There's the other H word.
Yes.
We're either healing or we're hurting. So on that note, we appreciate each and every one of you for joining us.
Yes, thank
Continue
you so
to
much.
leave your comments down in the chat box. But as you go throughout your day and your week next week, okay, always remember, making healthy choices develops what? Healthy habits. And healthy habits creates
healthy
a
lifestyle.
healthy lifestyle.
That's right.
So let's get to the root.
That's right.
Of obtaining and sustaining our health by eating more plants.
That's it.
Moving our bodies. Stressing less. And loving more. Until next time, y'all take care.
Y'all be good.
Take care.
All right, guys. Bye-bye.